check your LDL, your HDL, and your triglycerides, great, but you don't know your ApoB, your LP(a), your particle size,
Exactly.
the stuff that'll really kill you.
It can kill you, exactly, right.
You know,
I'm a fan of high cholesterol. We know that high cholesterol is associated with better brain quality, better muscle quality, but it has to be the right type of cholesterol, and that's not HDLs and LDLs, it's ApoB and ApoA. Nobody tests it. You need to know what your ApoB is. You need to know if you have an LP(a). If that's high, that's really critical to work on modifications. So that's stuff that, if your doctor's not doing, and most doctors don't. I see people all the time who hand me their lab profiles, and I'm like, okay, this is useless to me.
I was working with Dr. O'Connor last year, and he made me go get a calcium score, and he said it's probably going to be 0. You do everything perfect. And I went in there, and my score was 120. And so I start to dig, and I find out my LP(a) was like 350.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yes. And guys, for you guys don't know it, LP(a) is a genetically inherited thing.
yeah.
Diet won't change it. Exercise won't change it.
Mhm.
Statin drugs won't change it. There's nothing that will change the LP(a). You have to work on other modifications to try and it makes your cholesterol kind of stickier in a sense.
Yeah.
So basically heavier and stickier. And so unfortunately, Dylan, and my husband has a high LP(a). 2 of my kids do. It's just a bad, unfortunate gene. In the
Mhm.
future, we'll have gene modification therapies and things like that to get rid of it. But for now, you have to know you have it because, as you said, it is a really big risk factor, and most people it never gets tested.
No, had I not done that, I have a 30% blockage, and then they just statin this, statin that. I went to the Mayo Clinic, and they told me, because I said, look, I want PCSK9 inhibitors,
Right.
I want Vasipa, I want Repatha, and they looked me in the eye and told me that would be bad practice. The statin is the answer. And I told my mom and my wife in the car back home for 3 hours what a waste of time that was, that a statin has no bearing on LP(a). I knew more
Right.
than they did about it.
Right.
So thank
Exactly. Yeah. Man,
you know
and I'll tell you the main reason is even that, when statin drugs get recommended over PCSK inhibitors, because PCSK inhibitors are much safer and much better drugs, is simply
Yes.
cost.
Yeah.
It's because it's hard to get a PCSK authorized. Your doctor has to go through all these hoops to get pre-authorization for it. They're expensive. And so the protocol is put someone on a statin drug. It's cheap, it's easy, and if they fail that, somebody may talk to you about a PCSK inhibitor, but it should be really a first line defense in somebody like you.
Yes. I had to go through this process where they wanted this to be elevated, that to be down. And I'm like,
Right.
that's impossible. It can't be done. And that makes no sense because I'm hurting myself. Anyway, you know how it is when you know people. I got both,
Yeah.
and so every year it's a
But most
bit.
people aren't like you, right? So then what do you do, right?
No, you're.
It's really hard. And
Mhm.
that's a case where PCSK inhibitors sometimes are really hard to work with insurance on, and they're too expensive for any of us to afford. They're thousands of dollars a month, right? So you don't get insurance help on those. But there's workarounds. If your doctor knows how to work with the system, they can
Yep.
typically get them for you, right?
I just had that battle right now. My Vasipa renewal came up and they wanted to put me on the generic. I know one of the head people that produces it, and he said, no, the generic is missing X, Y, and Z. Don't do it. And I just fought with them till they gave it to me finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
and I'm a different breed. I'm just not going to take fucking no for an answer.